All right, well, we have some introductions in order.
Yeah.
So this end of the table can go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi,
Tell us.
I'm Mary McCall. I'm a retired college professor and a gerontologist, so I started working with mature people 40 years ago in my 20s and have enjoyed every single minute of it. And when I first moved to Iowa City 3 years ago, I came immediately to the senior center and said,
It's true.
to Latasha, what can I do? I
I'm a
said,
witness.
Emily, what can I do? What do you need? And it's been a joy of my life. People and activities.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And
I'm Kate Milster, and I spell that M-I-L-S-T-E-R. My husband used to run the power plant here in town, so when I got remarried, I moved here to Iowa City in '94, and I worked here in the senior center for 3 or 4 years, I think, and then moved to the library. I worked at the library for another 3 years. Well, it was the old library before it was on. And so I've been living in Iowa City for a long time and taught out in West Branch and, as a guidance counselor out there as well as an art teacher and spent a lot of time there. Know a lot of people, around Iowa City. So,
Welcome back.
thank you. And I just moved back from Florida for a couple of years. I moved to Florida during the COVID time because they were a little bit more open than we were here. And my husband had passed away, so I moved away for a couple of years. So,
and you're both new board members?
Yep.
yeah,
Well, welcome.
thank you.
Yes.
All right.
And maybe we can introduce ourselves because
Yes, of course. Do you want us to keep going, or you skip? Are you
well,
going to
you
the
know-
commission?
you know-
Okay.
We all know who you are.
We know.
Oh, for the
Yeah, we know
record,
her.
Latasha Deloach,
you know
staff.
Kristen?
Kristen Crumray, I'm the operations assistant here at the senior center for Kate's knowledge.
What?
I'm Kristen Crumray, operations assistant at the senior center.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Betty.
Nancy Stradley. We've lived in Iowa City for over 30 years.
Are you through? You through?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Betty Ross. What?
Okay, anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. This is the free and open time. So Jay Gilchrist and been retired, I guess, back in Iowa City for about 3 years, 3+, and moved away from here 36 years ago, but we came bouncing back. So,
I'm Emily Edrington, not usually at these meetings, but staff here to report today.
and thank you for coming. Okay, well, we have minutes from December 19th. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Or I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think we're all good on that. Okay, and we'll turn it over to Latasha, and who may turn it over to Emily, but it's your floor now.
Emily, would you like to talk about programming updates? And I'll throw a couple programs in there if you don't
Sure.
get to them.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for having me. I have a few updates and some stats to share with you today. I won't talk about a lot of our programming just because Michelle manages most of the programs that are planned here at the Senior Center, but I'll talk about the groups that I work with and some of my areas of focus. First, I have some statistics just to share with you about our most recent year of AARP tax aid and also SHIP counseling. So SHIP is our Medicare counseling program. So just to give you an idea of the number of people we serve and the impact that that has, in the 2024 tax season, so 23 tax returns, or for the year 23, we prepared 375 tax returns for folks through the Senior Center. 72% of those were age 60 or older. and the average adjusted gross income for those 375 tax returns was $39,238. So the AARP Tax Foundation program is geared toward people with low to moderate income, especially older adults, but it is open to anybody. So the only reason that they ever turn anybody away is because their tax situation may be too complicated and out of scope. So that just tells us that the majority of the people using the tax aid program are seniors and do have moderate to low income. So yeah, we did 375 federal tax returns last year. They also do state tax returns for Iowa. And the total amount of federal income tax refunds from the federal tax returns totaled $366,241. So saved $250,000, or $250,000 roughly went back into the pockets of taxpayers through our work here at the Senior Center. So way to go. More fun statistics. Our SHIP program is another program that helps a lot of people, and so people can get help with Medicare issues by, making an appointment when they're new to Medicare, or if they're having some issue or conflict with their insurance company and they need help with an appeal, or just navigating the information in general. And then especially during the Medicare open enrollment period in the fall, we get a lot of repeat visitors who use our help to just navigate their options and figure out what's going to work best for them in the coming year. So in 2024, we had the number of client contacts that we had for the year was 1,813. And then just in the last 3 months of the year, so this is when open enrollment happens, we had 1,094 client contacts. So more than half of our clients served are all crammed into the last 3 months of the year. We have 13 counselors operating at 3 different sites, and they also do virtual and remote appointments by Zoom and phone. The sites that they offer appointments at are here at the Senior Center, at the Mercer Park Aquatic Center on the east side of Iowa City, and at the North Liberty Public Library, or next door to that is the Ranshaw House, where we've done some programming and we do appointments there during open enrollment, because we're basically operating full-time and they can't give up their library study room for us all that much time. Cost savings for SHIP clients. This is documented cost savings, and so it doesn't actually it doesn't necessarily encompass every dollar saved through SHIP, because when a client comes to the Senior Center and gets information and then they say, okay, that's pretty good, I have enough info to go wrap this up myself, they can also enroll in plans themselves. And so those folks aren't counted in this number, but for the enrollments that we do, they're documenting how much are people paying in their current plan, and then how much would they save when they shift to a new plan. And the total cost savings for 2024 was $578,689.
Wow.
So over $500,000 of
That's
cost
a lot.
savings
Wow, that's cool.
through the insurance services that we offer. So just dollars and cents. Our work impacts a lot of people locally, and it's a lot of work, but we do it and enjoy it. So yeah, those are just some fun numbers I can share. So I wanted to do that. I have another little set of numbers I can give you. Our email subscribers through the press release list, as of this week, is up to 5,645 email addresses that our messages go out to each time we send a email newsletter. We changed over to the city Gov Delivery email system probably about 1.5 years ago. And at the time that we switched over, we were under 4,000 subscribers. So in the last 1.5 years, we've added at least 1,700 subscribers. So just getting the word out about the senior center and having more people be connected with us on a regular basis has, I think, led to an uptick in people making use of the senior center. Just anecdotal information, this winter, our January-February session has had many, and I'd say most of our classes have filled up all the way and are off and running, and so we're seeing a lot of participation. Let's see, I'll mention just a couple things about some of our partners and our offsite programming, because those are some of the areas that I work with. So as you all probably know, recently Trail of Johnson County, the organization that we hosted in room 301, has relocated to room G03. So now they have a space that is dedicated for their work. They eventually took over the space that the Visiting Nurse Association was operating in. They suspended their community clinics in January of 2024 due to funding issues. And so we really held that space for the whole year, basically, in hopes that they would be able to, restart services with the help of grant funding, and hadn't happened up to this point. So we're just moving forward and making good use of that space. And so I think that'll serve Trail and its members well. In the last year or so, we've added massage therapy as one of our services. That's been going well. Eric Brush is a massage therapist who offers appointments here at the Senior Center now. Couple other partnerships. Table to Table is a really significant partnership that I've been giving a lot of time to. We've really expanded our volunteer team with that project. On Monday mornings, we get deliveries from Table to Table, the local food rescue organization, and we serve somewhere between 40 and 60 people a week for free grocery shopping. And leading up to the grocery deliveries, we have a community coffee, and that has seen a real increase in participation and visits. So we continue to adapt our approach to the grocery shopping as our program grows. And Table to Table is actually very kindly donating a freezer to the Senior Center that they were getting rid of from their warehouse, so that we can store more overflow groceries when needed.
Could I, that Table to Table that comes on Mondays, you were talking about services that really help people. That one really helps people. People go away, they take the boxes that the food comes in, and they take those boxes and fill them back up off the tables. And I take part in it too. I got a bag I carry, and it's a wonderful help. And I thank whoever the gods may be. It's great.
Yeah, and it helps.
And I think
keep
there's
food out of
more
the
than
landfill.
40 to 60 people there too.
Yeah,
Definitely feels like it.
there are over 110 individuals who we started registration for this.
That's
so over the
more
last
likely,
6
yeah.
weeks or so, we have 110 different people signed up with us. But usually each week we get about 40 to 60 people. It's usually closer to the 60 end of that, but on a slow week we might have 45 or so. But yeah, it's really nutritious food often, lots of produce. We've been lucky to get like meat and dairy products, so plenty of bread and pastries, but that's not exclusively what it is. And so it saves a lot of food from ending up in the landfill, and And I know that there are many people who pick up food for neighbors and have families that they're sharing it with, and so it serves significantly more than the number of people that we see come through. Okay, so then just a little note about some off-site programming. I'm currently doing some programs in North Liberty. Those have both filled up. Walk with Ease is one of the programs that Michelle has offered several times in the past. But I was excited to get trained and be able to lead that group. I have an intern starting next week who will help take some of it off my plate, so I'm not gone 3 days a week for it. But we have 20 people signed up for that class. We're using the North Liberty Rec Center that has the indoor walking track. And so we've heard a lot of appreciation of the location and the access to indoor walking access during winter months when it maybe isn't as safe for people to be out on sidewalks. North Liberty has been really generous in welcoming. They allow folks from Iowa City and Coralville and Tiffin and Solon, and people are really coming from all over, and luckily plenty of people from North Liberty too, for that class. So that's a free class that we're offering with support from North Liberty through grant funding, and they're extending free access to the walking track during those classes to people.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Walk with Ease.
Walk with Ease.
It's a program of the Arthritis Foundation.
Okay.
But yeah, so seniors who wouldn't otherwise have free access to the walking track in North Liberty do get to make use of it when they attend that class. So that's kind of a bonus. I also have a Qigong class started in North Liberty that has 18 people in it and more trying to sign up. And so, again, people are coming from a mix of places and getting some gentle movement that is hopefully going to improve range of motion and health and quality of life. Last year, with our grant funding from North Liberty, we also have, or for many years now, several years with the grant funding, we've been offering membership discounts for North Liberty residents at the same rate that Iowa City residents get discounts. This particular grant will come to a close at the end of June of this year, and so people who sign up for membership before that will get that discounted rate extended. And we've done some other classes. Some have been a go and some haven't. I've seen a heck of a lot more participation at the classes that we're holding at their rec center than at the Ranshaw House, which is a city-owned house that they are now, that's near their library community center, and they're using for programming for social service agencies and community groups. So we've been trying to help them kind of pick up the action that house sees, but there seems to still be some barriers with that. So they're working through that, and we're continuing to hold programs there when appropriate, but also have expanded into their rec center. Okay, and then just a couple quick things that I'll shout out here, more off-site stuff. We have a lot of mindfulness things on offer, including a mindful walking group that Jay leads on Wednesday mornings, and that's outdoors. We've had some mindfulness retreats at the Terry Trueblood Recreation Area Lodge and the Ashton House, which is another city facility in Iowa City. And also we partner with the Robert A. Lee Rec Center to offer water mindfulness classes on Tuesday mornings, and that gives people free access to the pool and some time to walk mindfully in water. And then, yeah, let's see here. I think that's all that I have to share with you today. I've been talking a long time, so thanks for listening.
Comments, questions?
Congrats.
Thanks.
Nancy had offered a compliment of the program because Emily puts together the program guide every 2 months, and she was offering compliments about the pictures because she was able to see some folks that she knew there, and so.
It was so neat to go,
Right, I know you. I know, we usually use, or I have been using stock photos, just because it's not
They're
that easy
boring.
to find. They're boring, good to hear, okay. It's not always that easy to find really nice photos that work well of things that we have happening here. But with the Black History Ball last year, we were very lucky to have a professional photographer capture all the beautiful moments, and so I thought, we're promoting the Black History Ball now, let's put those photos to good use and make a little photo spread. And it was fun to see, and especially just how fancy everybody is. It's very nice.
It really was truly great.
Oh, good.
Maybe we should dress fancy more often when we come
Yeah.
here.
Well, you know, the theme of the Black History Ball is the elegance of the Harlem Renaissance. So
Yes.
bring out your 1920s and 30s wardrobe and
We'll take it.
yep.
Well, I think it's great that the North Liberty programs are a smash, you know, from what you said. And that speaks well of outreach and inter-community relationships, whatever. And so that's a good thing.
Great. Thanks.
And whatever hurdles with Rancho, or whatever might be going on there, we'll just hope and pray that some kinks get worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice space and it's good for meeting up. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, people just haven't fully latched on yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same draw.
Is it new to North Liberty, opening up that place? Or
Within the last few years.
Couple years.
yeah, so it maybe just hasn't culturally gotten on the radar there yet or whatever. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your dedication, day in, day out. Season in, season out.
I'm here for it.
Just also from programming, obviously, thank you so much, Emily, for presentation. Even some of those numbers, I was like, that's great. I could have used that for the budget presentation.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, I need those for next year. But I mean, it's huge. I mean, I think the impact of what we're doing for the community. You know, we're all this year, after we get past this Black History Ball in a few weeks, we'll be spending a lot more time looking at our stats and how we tell our story and market that a little bit more about the incredible work that's being done here, because sometimes it's a secret, and you know, it's not intentionally a secret, but it's small staff, lots of people, lots of programs, it kind of can get lost in there. So just really taking time to kind of pull those things out and highlight them. This year on the programming, the Black History Ball is February 8th. We do have some tickets for low-income seniors, so let us know, as well as if people can't attend, anyone is welcome to donate a ticket. If you go to the link, you can click on donate a ticket, and then that way it can help us bring somebody else who might not have the funds, or we can deeper discount some more tickets for folks. But dress fancy as you got. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got to come with the penguin suit if you ain't got it. You come, you know, obviously we want it to be kind of fancy because it's not too many opportunities that we get to do that. It's welcome to everyone. I have to say this in 2025, but Black history is American history, and anyone is welcome. People calling, is it okay? Yes, anyone is welcome, but I understand we live in a world that we aren't very clear sometimes about those things, and so yes, it is open to anyone. It is from the brainchild of folks of color who are like, oh, let's do something fancy, but the goal was to celebrate history and to bring everybody in to learn it. And so there's a fashion show that is happening. We have 4 designers that are designing outfits from that era, so there will be a fashion show in the middle of a ball, because why not? And then we will have a jazz performance for about an hour at the end, so that people can just kind of sit back and listen to some good music. So, you know, even if you don't get a ticket, if you come later, you might be able to just, you know.
When is the date?
February 8th, 7 to 11. The food is going to be ridiculously delicious because I only eat good food. It's against my faith to not eat good food. So the food will be great. And we're just we look forward to the community pieces and people we haven't seen in a while, and the hugs and the excitement that kind of comes with that. So, so that'll be happening that day. That's our biggest one, and then we'll have some volunteer things coming up. And that particular group, we just talked about it yesterday. They want to bring back the Soul Train night that we did in the summer. They want to bring that back again in May, and so we just got to figure that out for May. And then the proceeds from the ball go to a field trip. So last year they did the Underground Railroad. Anyone could, register, even if they were in the group or not. And we did a trip in Iowa to Underground Railroad, which was a phenomenal experience. And this year it's going down to the Figge Museum and going to the Quad Cities. So the proceeds kind of go to the bus because the buses are not cheap. And it would be cost prohibitive if we had to all pay for the share of the cost of the bus. So proceeds go to that so that we can kind of deeply discount that trip. And so I don't know, it's been kind of a nice little spin on what we do here. It was kind of answering the call that people were saying we need a field trip, and it kind of did that. And so it's kind of hit a couple of pieces that we were trying to get to, but in like a different way and a different approach. So that's been good. So that's on the programming side. Am I missing anything else? Any other big program things coming? There's lots of stuff.
Yeah, everything always.
If you're not on the email list, get on the email list because we're constantly sending things out. But I'll give you a bit of a facilities update. So starting next week, we will be joined by the engineering department here at the City of Iowa City. They're having some renovations down at City Hall. And so we were able to kind of give them a tour today and a little bit of reception and talk to them about who we are and what we do. And well, I don't even know if we got into what we do, but more about like, welcome, welcome to the facility. And so they'll be joining us. So you'll see new faces around. We've asked them to wear name tags for a while just because I don't know half their names. So, it'd be nice for them to do that. So have some patience with us as we kind of transition and have 20 new people that we don't normally have here. But people in the building is not new to us because we deal with that every day, but it's just another department combining with us. We are still working through temperature things. Our hope this year is as we come up on our facility master plan, looking at the internal parts of our building. We'll be looking at design this year. So that's mechanical, plumbing, that kind of thing. So we'll be working on probably getting an architectural firm to come in and help us design some things, and then that'll be a lot of this year, and then we would break ground on some of those things in 2026. So I'm hoping that at the top of that is the HVAC so that we can address the temperature things that need to happen. The beautiful thing about the internal part is that a lot of that work can happen all seasons, so every season. So it's not like with the external where we have to kind of wait for the weather to be good. So that'll be something, and we'll keep people in the loop about what that looks like, etc. Closures, if we have to close rooms or different things like that. So that's what's coming up with that. The exterior we're getting new windows and doors. After the windows and doors are completed, then we will be at a place where we will have some landscaping hopefully to come along, because we've been looking a little questionable outside. But we have had to kind of do that. We protected what we could, and other shrubs and things had to come up because it was so much work with all the tuck pointing. So hopefully we'll be able to come up with a plan, work with Parks and Rec to kind of help us come up with a plan of the I was about to say wildlife, but if you know me, that is not what I meant. I meant, plants and different things like that, not the wildlife. Avoid that at all costs. But that we have those things so that we can make the outside beautiful and vibrant. If you haven't noticed, we have a new awning, and I don't know if I mentioned this in last month's meeting, but we have a new awning outside the Washington Street door, just to be a very clear beacon of come inside the door. So we're thankful for friends of the Senior Center in helping us purchase that with our own funds. We kind of have a little bit of collaboration to pay for that, and we're excited about it because we needed a new one. We needed a new one that clearly identified more of who we are and what we're doing. And so excited about the exterior project because if you've been to the front, even though those doors are open, we got a lot of chip paint and it just hasn't been renovated in a while. So looking forward to the refresh of the outside of the building, and that project being completed this year. So looking forward to that. So a few more years, y'all, and then we'll be sparkling. We won't be new, but we'll be newish, newer adjacent. So that's what we have in the facilities. I'm trying to think if there's any other things. We have put up some more signs. You probably see more signs around the building, just trying to be clear with folks about where they can and cannot smoke, or things like not bringing bikes in, different things. Like we just kind of put those up just as a reminder for folks to kind of just help us as we try to monitor the building and keep things kind of tidy. So other than that,
I got a question.
Yes.
Is there a bench out there by that entrance where people can sit?
yeah, there's still a bench there where people can sit. Well, sometimes we just have to remind people they're welcome to sit there, but if they're smoking, they have to be at least on the sidewalk. And most of our regular folks that they know that, and they will, but we remind people sometimes. But for the most part, people are like, oh, we got to step over there to do that. But sometimes we have new people that don't know. So. But other than that, I think we're managing. We're managing. Temperatures kind of come and go, but it's difficult. We do have a system in place where someone from facilities checks in every morning to kind of look at that, but it can be tricky because if it heats up all of a sudden in the day, and the temperature might have been a nice 70, and then all of a sudden the temperature changes, then it heats up or cools down, or it just. So the hope with getting that HVAC settled is going to be beautiful to be able to make adjustments, particularly in what we call the cold zone, which is kind of this far corner over here. The north corner is quite cold in the wintertime. So that's, I think, all I have. You all have any questions for me about facility things? I should bring up the I Promise. What is it called? I Promise? I think it's I Promise. Is it? Look. Now I'm like, I promise. What am I promising? So there is an initiative that we've partnered with the University of Iowa, and I can't tell you the department right now because we have lots of departments that work with us. Maybe sustainable climate something. Anyways, we are partnering with them to specifically try to get as many folks here at the Senior Center as possible to fill out a I Promise to the Earth kind of opportunity. Is downstairs on the ground floor outside the fitness room. There's a pen or pencil or something that's attached, and there's posters, and you can just write on there, I promise to, my promise to me this year is to compost. Like every time I'm throwing an egg out or something, I'm like, dang, I could be composting this, So that's kind of my promise, is I promise to learn how to compost and to do that. We recycle well, everything. I have to remind my kids sometimes, but so they're looking for as many I Promise statements from the Senior Center and other places in the community by Earth Day. Their goal is to get 5,000 promises to the Earth. So if you all can help us spread the word and go down there and fill that out, and once it fills up, they will give us more posters to fill up, because they take the posters and they upload them onto a website so that people anywhere can see about the different promises that they have to the Earth. So would love you all to participate in that and help us spread the word. We've sent it out, but we sent out a lot of things, so it's only going to get so much traction, but word of mouth can go a long way. So ground floor outside the weight room, if people can help us with that. So I'm trying to think of it. I think that's about about it for that's about it right now. We'll have some new art installations throughout this week. We have some specific for Black History Month, so those will be going up at the end of this month. So other than that, that's all I have. Yes.
Can you remind us? Oh, go ahead.
I have had people ask me about the third floor meeting rooms are so cold. And I heard, but I couldn't catch it all, something about a furnace. You said, is there any way that the third floor in particular can be warmer, or is that going to come about with new windows?
Windows, yes, but it's also, the issue is that our boilers, we have an older system.
Oh, really?
We have an older system, old building, right? So we can't adjust, it's the equipment that we need to adjust things ran out of its contract or something, or the company folded or something. So we have to get a whole new system placed. So because of the cost, we had to go to engineering and we had to get it bid. It's like a whole thing just so that we can get the controls to be able to adjust. Right now they're guessing. They're kind of like, we hope this is good, right?
It goes on and off.
Exactly. So until we can able to get the controls in place, then we can adjust it to be like, it's going to be exactly 72 degrees. So we thought it was a quick fix. We had something set up where they were coming, they had the people here, we were ready, and then we found out that there was some law change or something in Des Moines, and then it ended up going back to the city attorney's office, and then it went, it started to do what government does. And so now we are in the process, it has to be a bid and all the things to be able to see who's going to install the controllers. It's not just our building, City Hall has the same issue. The rec centers have the same issue, so.
Okay,
so
thanks.
It's a lot of, because we all have different systems, but they're trying to put us all on one system so that they can control it better.
Well, is there any projected nearby date?
I would love to give you a date, Betty, but I would.
No, I mean like 2 years, 3 years?
Oh, well, we're for sure in the next 2 years, for
2
sure.
years.
Because, did I say for sure? I hope in the next 2, because, because we are going through the design phase this year. So specifically, one of them is to talk about the HVAC system and making sure it's up to date. So we have funds, but the funds can't be expended for construction or improvements until January of 2026. So next year, the top of next year, but it doesn't mean that we can't make the adjustments to the controls this year. But I'm just saying, for additional improvements, plus putting in new windows and doors, those things will all be things that will contribute to us being able to get that situated. Right now, what we could do is we do have space heaters in all those spaces, and if we can get in there probably earlier and turn them on, that could probably help warm up the spaces more. So that's something I can send to facilities or to staff, that when we know we have a class in the morning, if they can also turn on the heaters before folks arrive.
Changing the windows will make a big difference, I think, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Because these
too.
windows are probably pretty old.
Yeah, they're past their time. So that's happening this spring, so that'll help. And then hopefully we have the controls in by the next winter, and then the following winter after that we'll have additional
We should all
upgrades.
live so long.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna hold on. We're gonna hold on, Miss Betty, that we all make it to when the senior center is a perfect 71 degrees. Okay. And then somebody's gonna say that's too hot. So I don't know.
Yeah, because classrooms are supposed to be set at 69,
Yeah.
so 71 is like,
Yeah, see what I'm saying? See, 71
than
for me
85.
is lovely.
Or 55.
Yes, or 59, that's.
I'm thinking out loud, maybe it's not true, but maybe having engineering here, they'll
Oh, that's a good idea.
I might have mentioned that to
That's a good
them
idea.
today. Like, well, you'll be here, so you'll be able to clearly articulate in a proposal what we need.
Right.
Yeah.
a full body experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So I think there's some advantages, and we'll take all the advantages we can get as we fight the drastic changes of weather inside the buildings.
Can you remind us when the ball is? What,
February 8th, 7 to 11.
To
February
8th,
8th. It is the
Saturday.
first, is it the first? Maybe the first Saturday of February, yeah.
and I know last year Lee and I volunteered to help wayfind and things. Will you be looking for
Yeah, we
board
definitely be
members
looking
to
for.
step up and into that capacity? So if anybody wants to help out, help provide the hospitality and the welcome, and sometimes people come and they haven't been here and they need to know
How to
well,
get
okay,
around, yeah.
and where's the dressing room for the fashion show.
What's the cost on that?
The cost for the ticket is $60 for the night, but like I said, we have discounted tickets. And then we usually always end up with some scholarship tickets too. So if people kind of let us know, then we're like, oh, you know what, someone did donate 2 tickets, and we obviously can't push that very loud because then it kind of. And we're under 50, I think, at this point, or we're at 50 tickets remaining. We had 100 and 100 and some, but we're probably down to about 50 or less tickets. So if people want to come, this is a good time to go ahead and get those tickets, just so that I always tell people, I know sometimes people want to wait to the last minute, but like that's probably not the best idea here for this event. So.
Okay, let's move on to commission discussion and election of officers. And Angie had volunteered last month, I think.
Oh, yeah.
do
But
some
she was doing
outreach.
that with Warren, and Warren's not here.
Do you have did she have a report? Do you have a report?
No, but I know you all had kind of chatted at the last meeting a little bit about who might want to be in those positions. You can, I don't mean to be speaking out of turn.
No, go ahead.
You can either push it off till next month, which wouldn't be a huge deal, I don't think. Or you could go ahead and talk amongst yourselves about who might want to be chair, vice chair, and secretary for the next year. Those positions are for a year, and we do have a quorum today, so we could, if people are like, sure, I'd be happy to be the vice chair, then you all could go ahead and nominate and elect people today. So,
2 options.
yeah.
Okay, so floor is open.
I think, didn't you agree to be on that?
I said I would be willing to serve 1 more year.
No, I said I'd be secretary.
And you said you would entertain the idea of being secretary, right?
Yeah.
And did, I'm trying to remember what Warren said.
I think Warren said he'd be willing to be the vice, but again, we didn't have our 2 new people here that day too. So.
Oh, two.
Yeah.
You guys wanted to.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be that someone can nominate themselves in this moment, or they can nominate someone else, and then you all would just have to go to a vote about who would win that position, kind of thing.
I nominate Warren if he's already volunteered.
Oh, for vice? Yeah, okay.
Should we just make it that slate of me and Nancy and Warren, and a yay or nay on that?
Unless there's, others that want to put their what is it?
Hat in the ring.
Thank you. I was like, the note in the hat? That was not coming together for me. Anybody else willing to do any of those positions?
All right.
Betty? You wanted to do anything?
It's really easy, and it's really kind of a formality, so I wouldn't be scared of anything. And Lee has been vice chair this past year, but we don't know how long he's going to be out with his injury. So I'm thinking if Warren's expressed willingness, so I would entertain a motion just to nominate the 3 of us.
I'll do it.
Moved, okay.
Moved.
Second?
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That deal is done.
Okay.
Master plan discussion, any other questions, comments, ideas on what Latasha and Emily shared with us today, or anything else? You know,
Feel free to please, email me if you have additional questions after the meeting.
and you can read the master plan, on the senior center site through the city of Iowa City, and that's always a good thing to do. I know I printed out a copy and it was helpful. Probably shouldn't have done that, I know. But helpful to at least get a glance at that. All right, Commissioner's report of community correspondence. Has anybody received cards, letters, fan mail, email, whatever?
Does it have to be written?
That's kind of like.
Does it have to be
No,
written?
it's kind of like if people talk to you about things, or,
Well,
you know.
so here's what I have to share and put out as an ask. So I run the caregiving support group every Friday. Most of the people in that group, the people they're taking care of, have dementia or Alzheimer's, and they are sorely looking for some place to bring their person. Ideally during the caregiving group, right? So that, because some people, the group is hybrid, so some people are on Zoom and they have to be on Zoom because they cannot leave their person alone. So I have just recently, I got an outreach from a nursing faculty at the university. And when I was in California, we had a program, this was in subsidized senior housing, so similar to ecumenical towers. But the nursing students, each semester they had like a clinical site set up. So I asked her, I said, what would be the possibility of creating a program where we would have a staff person, not you staff person, but like another person overseeing the students, but that the students could serve as companions for the people who would come for that program. So it's a huge ask. There's so little support and opportunities for people with dementia and Alzheimer's and other brain conditions in the community. So it's a huge need out there, and I'm trying to figure out how to, create an opportunity that feels supportive of the people who are doing the caregiving and also appropriate to the people that they're taking care of. As well as if we can get students involved, better yet, right? That they learn, like, this is what life is like on the ground.
So
I'll just put that up.
Say a little more about that. Are you talking about I'm probably not going to use the right terminology, but like a respite program or
Yeah.
a day care program?
Yeah, so it could be, so the caregiving group runs from 9:30 to 11. So ideally, if it could start at 9, so that
During that
I
time
could bring
when you're
your,
doing that,
yeah,
I
you're
see.
my person, so we could come at 9.
Okay.
I could kind of get you settled. I could go to the caregiving support group, come back, and you'd be there, and students, so it could be, activities, puzzles, it could be quiet reading, right? Some people are like, I don't really want to interact. So a lot of people just need a safe place for their person to be that's not at home. So some people want to interact, but you've also got to understand how do you interact with someone with dementia or Alzheimer's. And what I like about having it here and at the same time is that if something happens, that person's caregiver would be right here, right? So if something really untoward happened, okay, just run upstairs and get the person.
Is this a weekly group?
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about a facility like if partner with reach for your potential or something. Be able to they could provide the location for that. You could have the caretakers here, or I guess you could have them there too.
Yeah, there are some day programs where, you know,
Yeah.
people can go for a half day.
Yeah.
But that costs money,
Oh,
and it's also, some people are like, I don't want to be in a day program where there's a lot of stuff going on around me.
oh,
And so for some people, those programs work well, and other people, they don't.
oh.
And so,
So you're just talking about a
again,
short amount of time.
This is
an hour
like
and a half,
on-site
2
here.
hours.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
So
So if
nursing
we had it
students would
regular,
come.
yeah, if we had a regular time, then the nursing program could say, okay, so there's a clinical site at the senior center every Friday from 9 to 12. That's where the students every semester go, right? And so that's a regular setup between
Okay.
them. Now, in the summer, it might be a different issue. But, so I'm in conversations with the nursing faculty.
So ostensibly, that could be a site, like you say, for students, but it would
Yeah,
need a trained professional to supervise it,
yeah.
so, you know.
And it could be like a master of nursing student who could supervise it. It could be another volunteer here who just says, yeah, on Friday morning I'm there, you know, for that.
So is this something you're working on already with the?
Well, I'm trying to talk to her and see what does it look like. So I'm just bringing it up here to, you know,
Yeah, just,
if
I
anybody
mean-
needs to tell me something I need to be aware of.
No, I mean,
you know.
I think our thing is always going to be like, if it's possible, if we have the space where we can do two things at once. You know, the things I'm going to not worry about, but think about is like, do we need the door to be locked just in case so people don't wander? You know, things like that are things that like I
Yeah.
would
Safety
love
stuff.
for,
Oh, for
that
sure.
stuff to be clarified
Oh,
so
for
that
sure.
we can make sure we can.
And
be
that's why we'd
supportive.
want to have enough students so that somebody could walk out if somebody starts to wander and interact with them and get them back, you know. There's another program called the Memory Cafe, which used to be done here years ago. Michelle had run that, and that is really where the people are doing it together. And so that's a different
Right,
thing.
but just
So you're
one.
not looking for that?
I'm not looking for that.
You're looking for more a respite for the
For
person
the
that's
caregivers.
getting care,
Yeah,
so that they can have time together
Yeah.
as just caregivers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sounds like an excellent opportunity for
Yeah, just let us
for
know.
students
Okay.
and faculty and people with dementia.
Are you gonna have some sort of activity for the people with dementia?
yeah. I mean, we'd have games or puzzles or reading, out loud reading, or quiet play. You know, if somebody just wanted to sit by themselves and read or nap or whatever, you know, somebody could walk down the hall with someone. I mean, so ideally we'd have enough students there to, you know, kind of give some individualized help for people who needed individualized support.
And ideally, it'd be a room on the same floor. Is your group meet on this floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd say go for it, but
Well,
that's my
okay.
opinion.
So we're in conversation, just wanted to put it out here, get some other feedback or input or ideas, yeah.
All right, great. Anything else of
I
that
was just
or other ilk?
along the kind of same vein, and something I had thought about is a lot of the high school students in the area do what's called a silver cord program. And what it is a cord that hangs on your graduation gown when you do so many hours during your high school years. And a lot of the kids at West Branch used to do it. They go to the nursing homes, but that's kind of all they saw was nursing home stuff. And they're in Cedar County though, so I don't know if that's possible, but possibly getting some intergenerational stuff going with high school kids would be really cool. And I don't know what that looks like or anything, but even like, for instance, for the ball, they could come and stand around. They love that kind of stuff. They think that's cool to watch a bunch of people dressing up and stuff. They just think that's great. So, you know, maybe involving them in some more stuff and thinking about doing that at some point, because they will do it for volunteer hours. I guarantee it. They love doing that stuff, so. That's just my input.
That's another good opportunity for developing the intergenerational relationships. Okay, what else? No? Okay, well, we had a full meeting here. Future agenda items. Anything we want on the agenda?
Oh, I'd like to hear, I'd like to meet the new director of Trail.
I know, and the only thing I know right now is a she.
Okay.
That's all I, that's
They
all,
haven't,
that's all
I
they,
think this person is hired, they haven't announced.
right, they don't start till February
So,
1st.
but we have Trail, will have to, they present to us annually anyways. So we are.
Give her a few months to get.
Yeah, and so they, because it's part of their memorandum of understanding of using our space, they present to us and give us statistics and that kind of thing. So that she or they, whoever they may be, will have to come anyways. I'm not sure if it'll be next month, or it might be a couple months, but we definitely can have them come and Emily coordinates that.
And what's
so.
Trail?
Tools and resources.
For active, independent living.
Listen.
Okay.
Oh, good job, everyone.
It's a team effort there.
Yeah, that was, because I was like, tools? I just have my own definition of how I call it. I just say that they're helpful to, our older adults in our community, from things from changing light bulbs to lawn care to helping to get to different places in town, etc.
So they have a big list of volunteers that will help with those
Socials,
kinds of things.
Okay.
And then it's a membership thing. And if somebody, like Latasha said, needs a light bulb changed or a faucet fixed and whatever, a whole range of things to be able to stay in their homes. But they also have a level of membership that is activity oriented. They do trips and they do get-togethers and so on and so forth. They co-sponsor some programs here with us. What else am I missing about Trail? Anything?
They're here.
So they share
It's good to know.
a space in our building, but it's an independent organization.
Majority of their activities transportation.
A lot of transportation.
Yeah, doctor's appointments, grocery stores. Yeah.
Their website is Trail of Johnson County, all one word, .org.
Okay, I'll look it up.
People look trail.org and I'm like, nope, trailofjohnsoncounty.org.
And COUNTY, so it's
Yeah.
spelled out.
And it's based off some other national models.
The village.
That's a cool idea. That's a really good idea. Just the little things that to just keep people in their home.
Yeah.
That's amazing what stuff comes up.
Yeah, and I know that Bob, the outgoing director, was tied into something called the, it's Livable Communities Network, and I don't know if Trail's officially a part of that or not, but it's like Johnson County Livable Communities, and that's another local group that's trying to see, well, how can we make it more altogether, livable for people. I think along those lines, though, I think it's next month or some month, it would be a good idea to have Heather come and share with us. She's the director of the Friends of the Senior Center, and just to give us tell us about her work. So
We'll roll all the staff through. I
Roll them all
promise.
through.
Roll them all through.
right. Okay. Any other future items? Don't want to overlook anything. All right, motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
So seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stepping up.